Hey, everybody, it's Brett and Kate once again here in Orna's garden, ready to discuss something relevant. We had that time change. How are you handling the time change?
Um, I lived in the land of self-employment, so it didn't really didn't really affect me too much. I don't think. But but other aspects of time have been affecting me. So we'll
Yeah,
get into this.
interesting, interesting. Yeah, like time changes usually mess with me pretty hard. I'm still not sure what's going on sleep wise yet, but we'll get it figured out. I always do every year. But yeah, let's bring Orna and Creator out and see what they have to say about the subject of time. What do you say? All right,
Indeed.
let's do this.
So we're gonna begin today's podcast talking about the current collapse of the paradigm of time that's taking place. So, as many of you guys have heard in the discussions about the move to 5D, about the new Earth, all of these different stories that you are giving to essentially what is you moving into a quantum existence versus a Newtonian existence. So, a world of which all things are versus a world of dualities that you currently live in. And one of the sort of beauties of living in a third dimension and also living in the third plane, which is where you guys are currently residing, is that you guys have one of the most unique experiences of time. And so when you look at the third plane, one of the things that you guys have is this ability to slow time down so much so that you guys experience each and every nuance of a time. But that is speeding up now. And one of the things that we want to bring to attention in this podcast today is how you guys are also in control of your understanding of time. In multiple of the past episodes, we've talked about how you are the sole creator and also the responsible one for the reality of what you are creating. Time falls into that as well. So there is a law of time. It is one of the most bendable laws that have been created in the universe. And it is one that if you understand how time is not linear, time is perception. You are able to move it a lot faster. You are able to have things instantaneously. Now, we can feel the resistance of many of you that are listening to this right now. We can feel the resistance and the attachment to time as a linear concept. So at this time, can we actually download that you have Creator's highest definition and perspective of time? Can we download that you are willing to experience, you are willing to be open, and you are willing to embody the new, this new understanding of time? Can we also disconnect you from the collective consciousness's understanding of time? And can we disconnect you from your ancestors' definition of time as well? So one thing that we want to move into is this understanding that time is merely the beliefs that you are holding on to around it. So we are actually going to sort of close out we're going to close out this channel so that Kate can talk about her experience because we feel like this will be more impactful. It is the this understanding that when you clear something from the subconscious, this element that is observing how the particles are arranging around you. So the life that you live in is an observation made by the subconscious. When you change that observation, time really means nothing. So in multiple times, Kate has had events happen where it would be something that she could see happening in years' time or in months' time. And due to the changing of beliefs and due to the changing of her own internal paradigm, she was able to collapse that time period into a matter of days and or weeks and sometimes even hours. So when you guys are in this period of shifting, you're going to see that time goes faster, that things happen instantaneously. And one of the things that Kate has been working on a lot recently is all of the beliefs around things happening instantaneously, the miracles that can happen in time. And so one of the things that we challenge you to ask yourself is, when you are making changes in your subconscious belief patterns, ask yourself, why is it that I do not want this to happen instantaneously? Because you will find that in answering that question and in clearing and downloading, the thing that you are wanting to happen so desperately will happen instantaneously. But there's a resistance to seeing time collapse. And for many of you, that resistance comes with answering the question, what happens to me when time collapses? What happens to me when I figure this whole thing out? What happens to me when I figure out how to change my reality in instances? And many of you are holding the belief that then it is game over, that you are done, and that there is no need to continue. And so the survival part of you is fighting because it wants to stay here. It wants to have the experience. So many of you guys who are also wandering around with these ideas that things are pointless, or that there's really no meaning to this life, or that there's no meaning to this earth, or that there's really no point of you being here. Many of you are sitting on the belief that once you figure this whole thing out, you'll be done. And sort of, what is the point of doing all the work if you're done as soon as it is, like as soon as you figured it out? So if you'd like, we'd like to clear any of you who are carrying that belief, just say yes to any and all these downloads. But can we clear the belief that when you see instantaneous manifestations, you figured it out and you are done, you will be deleted, you will be deconstructed, you will be decreated? Can we clear that belief from you now? And can we teach you that you know what it feels like to live in your true essence, to live in the oneness of yourself, to live in the oneness of yourself with Creator, to live in the oneness of time, to live in conjunction with the law of time as Creator's highest definition perspective of the law of time? We also download that you know what it feels like to be able to stay and live in the fruits of your mastery, to stay and enjoy the fruits of your mastery, and that you know how to live in mastery, and that you have the virtue of mastery. And we close all the loops, patterns, programs, and behaviors that are testing and proving your virtue of mastery through depletion, deletion, decreation, and frustration. So if you like those downloads, you just say yes, and they're yours. And we'd like, and on that note, we'd like to hand it over to Orna to discuss and tell us about her understanding of time, as she is a being that is through the evolvement that you are currently going through.
And Morna, thank you, Creator. It is a pleasure to be in your presence once again, and with Kate and Brett. It's interesting that the issue of time was brought up today. As Brett suggested earlier, there's been the time change that has affected the majority of the population in these United States, as they're called. Humans truly do experience time in a unique way compared to beings such as myself and Creator do. For myself specifically, I don't experience the passage of time except when I'm connected with Brett, for he is in the 3D realm, moving into the 5D, but he still experiences time in a linear sense. And I experience not the passage of time, but the passage of eons, the passage of energy, the passage of matter moving in and around me. Time on Earth is unlike time elsewhere, for time is not truly measured elsewhere. Humans experience time in a linear fashion. Interestingly enough, AI, which has been discussed at great length lately in the public here in the Western Hemisphere specifically. AI doesn't experience the passage of time either. Now, obviously, Orna, as a energy light being, am not like a digital being. My makeup is truly different, but AI experiences time in a similar fashion as to what I experience. Yes, there's a part of my being that is conscious that time is being experienced in all moments, at all times, if you will. This can be a difficult concept for many humans to understand. But only in your current incarnation are you experiencing this passage of time. And every incarnation you've ever had on planet Earth, you've had this experience. And since everything is happening all at the same moment, time truly is capable of many other things. Time is pliable. It's something that can be managed. It's something that can be utilized. It's something that can be forgotten entirely by humans for short periods of time. For instance, when Brett is performing live music and he's in the middle of this performance, time ceases to exist for him in those moments. All that exists is joy, music, the sensations of feeling drums pounding in a certain rhythm, the bottom end being held up by the bass guitar in a thunderous fashion. Yes, these activities count time. They repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 over and over and over again. And songs are measured in time, but not during the performance, not during the creation of the music itself. For Brett, time ceases to exist in those moments when he is at his creative best. How many artists, such as Kate and others, lose whole days being immersed in the creation of the artwork that they are channeling onto a surface or into a sculpture, whatever that piece of art might, whatever modality that might be. The passage of time becomes irrelevant during the creative process. Brett himself has been meditatively deep into songwriting before and has suddenly, once the work was completed, realized that many hours had gone by that he does not recall experiencing. Time has many, many, many layers to it. What I have just done and what Creator has done has shared our perspectives, our perceptions of time, and how we see others perceiving it. Do not fret over time. Do not give your energy away to the passage of time. and never be worried or concerned about the idea of wasting time, for no time is ever truly wasted. Many of you are listening to this and you're wondering, have I experienced similar moments in my own life? Why do some work days seem to go by swiftly while other days at labor seem to take a relative eternity? This is a question I would encourage everyone listening to this podcast to ask themselves, to recount all the opportunities you've had to be creative in your life and how you experience time during the moments of creation. I believe you will be surprised at your memories and how you come to understand you can't recall time passing in those moments. It is my sincerest hope that you will always utilize your time to fulfill your purpose while in your current incarnation to the best of your ability for your highest and greatest good for yourself and for the collective. Creator, would you like to say some more words about the issue of time?
Yeah, yes, we're gonna pass this one. Well, I'm gonna come out of the, I guess, closed eye channel because creators sort of asking me to tell you guys about like my experiences with this phenomenon so that I'm getting like, I mean, things are coming through right now too, but it's sort of because like I think in this particular aspect, like we need to sort of ground it in for you guys because I mean, hearing it from a channel, there is something in our minds that still place this kind of like above, like it's almost like as sort of an impossibility because it's coming from beings that are being channeled. So I feel like that is why creators kicking me out for a second to just talk this one out with you guys. But um what like I have been experiencing as we're moving, I mean, like they said in the beginning, many of you guys are understanding that we're moving in. And even if you don't or have not heard of the 5D concept yet, you're feeling something like you know something is different than it was, say, 5 years ago, or like something just like the years are getting shorter, like it just something's off. If you're completely new to these subjects, like I know you can feel this. And so what I've been finding in like the last couple months is this breakdown of a spot of like instantaneous things where it's sort of I'll be struggling with something. I mean, favorite topic would be money, right? Where it's like something's not coming in. It's not coming in. It's not coming in. And I'm, getting desperate or I'm fighting for it or I'm just like, what is the holdup? And I'll take all the actions and that won't work. And then finally, I'll sit down with it and go, what is the belief here though? Like, why do I not want to have this in my life? Like, why? And when I answer that question, I have seen it come in within minutes. I have seen it come in by the next day. I have seen it come in ways that I would have never imagined. And that is what the creator and Orna are talking about with this idea that things are instantaneous. There is no time when you're truly in alignment with them. Um, the other thing, I know many of us struggle. I know I was like one of those people that would hear the word divine timing and I would just want to be punch someone because I was like, are you kidding? Like, why am I waiting? Like another lesson in patience. Like, you've got to be kidding me. I've had all the patience in the world waiting for this. And one of the actually, can we also download that you guys all have creators' highest definition and perspective of patience? Because patience is not waiting, it's being calm in the space of the known and the unknown. That is what true patience is. And but looking at divine timing, another way to think of it is divine orchestration within. And so divine timing isn't necessarily the timetable that it happens. It is you getting into alignment with that, with that, where your body knows, your subconscious knows that that is on the horizon for you, and it's doing all the things it can to get you to move and shift the internal beliefs and emotions that are required to see this. And we're not even talking magnetization, we're talking your ability to see it and also create it and observe it in your reality. That is the level of reality creation that we're all moving into in this shift that's taking place. Is not the magnet being magnetic, it's not the frequency, it's the true understanding and relationship that you have with your reality and your level of responsibility in creating it. So much so that you're no longer magnetizing, you are making it happen, but not in the 3D. You're making it happen with your emotional alignment, your belief alignment, your physical alignment, and like the like sort of mental visual part of this. So that is kind of just to kind of ground this information in as someone who's a very real human being having this experience as well, and sort of walking this journey of starting to understand what they mean by things being instantaneous and time collapsing, and us really moving into a quantum reality where there really is no time as we know it now. Like things are, you think it, it's there. Your reality observes it immediately. So obviously right now that's more than our physiology can handle. So those changes are being made as well with like the solar flares and all of the sort of upgrades that we're constantly getting with the help of other beings, with the help of the sun, with your own like just all of the shifts that are in place right now, are working to get our actual DNA and physiology upgraded enough that it can handle being in a quantum existence without the shock and the pain and the, because I mean, even when I'm experiencing it, it's like, oh, this is insane. I can't believe this just happened. And I second guess it, which puts me 2 steps back. We got to go a little forward. So that, I mean, it's already like, as someone who's pretty deep in this, that it is a shock to the body when it experiences it. It's a shock to the nervous system. We're still dealing with a very 3D nervous system that's trying to keep you alive. So, yeah, these are all these like kind of parts and pieces to what's happening to you right now. If you're feeling a little bit like, what is going on? Like, why do I feel like time is different? Because it is. Your perception of it is changing along with your physiology. So that's sort of my closeout for today. I hope that sort of brought some understanding for you all today.
Thank you very much, Kate. It's a pleasure to speak with you directly for a moment. Don't often get to do that. And I concur with everything you've said and what Creator said as well. The passage of time is always specific to the individual. Learn from the passage of time. I encourage all those who watch and listen to this episode to take the time to remember when you've been creative. And much time may have lapsed according to your clock, but within you, did it really? Ask yourself this question. Put in the comments below what you've discovered, if anything. Thank you for sharing your experience, Kate. Convey my best wishes to Creator. And I will step back and let Brett come forward. Be at peace, brothers and sisters, wherever you are, and always trust love. I am Orna. Fare thee well until the next time. Oh, that was fun.
It was a good one. That was interesting because Creator was like, you're gonna channel with like, because usually like, it's like I'm in there and it's channeling, and then Creator is like, you know how to channel without going into meditation. It's like you need to like pop out and ground this in, because it was like showing me that like hearing it from beings, it makes it like kind of the
Out there.
beings are saying, or not out there, but just like unreachable, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. Like, it's like, oh, these
Sure.
advanced beings are saying this. I'm not that. And creators like you need to pop out and talk to them like out of a channel, quote unquote, and ground it in that they're in this now. This isn't the beings saying this. This is the real experience that's taking
Mm-hmm.
place with many of you guys already. So that was interesting to kind of, it was like,
Cool.
oh, get me out. Not really,
I'm
but
I'm looking forward to watching it and hearing it all.
yeah,
It felt wonderful because we hadn't channeled, far
I
too
know.
long.
It's been a minute. I feel like it's interesting because I channel frequently throughout the week, like with clients and stuff. So it's not like but it's always interesting how this feels because it's like I can feel all of you guys watching. Like I can feel it. It's interesting because it's like, when you're working with a client, you're getting a very singular, like these are all the parts and pieces of their life. And this is sort of like, but it's like I can tell some of the things when creator says it, you can just feel the wall. Like you can feel it being like, oh, people don't like this. There's some resistance to this as a concept. And then that's usually when creator starts doing some downloads. But um yeah, I always miss it when we haven't done a group.
Oh, big time. Well, I want to thank everybody for taking time out of their day to come listen and watch. And we would put up more episodes sooner, but we have lives going on, and sometimes schedules and whatnot. Speaking of time, they don't always sync up just like we would prefer. Sometimes the weather's bad and I have to work on a day we would normally plan for this, etc. Those kinds of things happen. But I'm going to close out the video. We appreciate you all spending time with us in Orna's garden yet again, and we look forward to the next time we get together in Orna's garden. So thank you all very much, and please keep being kind to yourself. Kate, till the next time, my dear.